Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show. And tonight, we've got two very special and wonderful guests, Shelly and Dave Brookover, more commonly known as the Brookovers. They'll be joining Darlene, Kurt, and myself, Stuart Sternberg, on this episode of the WDW Fan Zone Show. And let's get right into it. We're going to discuss the Disney Magic Marvel Day at Sea, which happened a little while ago, back in the beginning of February. But we're grateful to have Shelly and Dave on, and we're going to hear all about their excellent adventure on the cruise. So I don't know which one of you would like to start off and tell us the highlights of your cruise.
Oh, there were all kinds of really cool things. Marvel Day at Sea was pretty amazing. Food was fantastic. The shows were all great. The double dip at Castaway was very cool. That was very nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of sun at Castaway was not quite as cool for me, but everybody else enjoyed it.
Yeah. Now you came. Oh, sorry, Shelly. Go ahead.
That's it. Go ahead.
So you guys came down from your home to the Orlando area first to pick up your wonderful daughter, Michaela, and her boyfriend, and bring them down to Miami.
Yeah, we originally were going to fly down to Orlando and then pick them up and then rent a car and drive to Miami. But the way COVID was and everything, we decided just to drive the whole way. So it was a nice drive down. We tried to stay away from as many people as we can, just being paranoid of COVID at that time. So we ate at drive-throughs and got our hotel and just basically stayed in the room, didn't go out anywhere. So, and took multiple home tests on the way so that we made sure that we were good to go when we got to Miami. So.
Were there tears of joy when they actually announced that you could board the ship?
Pretty much.
I've heard a lot of that.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that I think was the most harrowing experience that any of us have had.
It was so nerve-wracking. It wasn't even funny.
No, yeah.
You know how everybody explains when they get off the plane in Orlando at MCO and that stress just... You smell that Florida air and you're like, oh, relaxation. That's the feeling you got when you got your results.
Yes.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, this was a WDW radio show cruise with Lou Mangello.
Marvel Day at Sea.
Yes. And everyone in his group.
Everyone made it
onto the cruise.
Yes.
Not one person from Lou's group failed the test.
Exactly.
Or pass the test, however you want to look at it.
However you want to say it.
That was the first negative you ever wanted in your life.
Yep, absolutely.
I was so paranoid, even driving down. I think the whole month of January, with the exception of maybe a trip or two to the grocery store because we had to eat, we truly went nowhere. Yeah. We didn't really leave the house for any reason.
Yep.
And then when we drove down, I packed my Lysol wipes and my cleaners. I had all kinds of stuff packed. I wiped those hotel rooms down from top to bottom. Anything that we would touch, the light switches, the toilets, everything. I wiped all of that down. And I was pleasantly surprised at how clean the rooms actually were.
Yeah.
Everywhere we stayed, they did a really, really good job with that.
Yeah, they did.
So we tried so hard to make sure nothing went wrong on this cruise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
I didn't hear of anyone coming down with COVID on the cruise, but we know they had a section of rooms blocked off just in case. There was a lot going on this cruise. I mean, it was just, this was like this. I don't want to say the Alaska cruise was better because this was different, but this was an amazing cruise. And if you had to pick out one or two highlights of the cruise that were your favorites, what would that be?
I think Marvel Day at Sea was, we're not big Marvel fans. We actually binge watched all the movies like a month before we left. We actually watched Endgame. I think we watched it
While we were packing.
Because we just ran out of time, but we saw them all. So it was seeing all the characters and stuff on the ship. It was pretty cool. So I think that would probably be the highlight.
That was a great highlight.
It was.
Did anybody here dress up?
No.
No. I wore Marvel attire that day. I wore a shirt and stuff, but I didn't dress up as a specific character.
I thought for sure Stuart was going to be dressed up as Thor or something.
No, we left
No.
that all to John.
Yeah, John was a perfect Vision, and Kelly was a perfect Wanda. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just amazing.
Now, when you say John was a Vision, in what way do you mean he was a Vision?
Was he the regular Vision? Was he the black and white Vision, or was he the?
No, he was
white
full
Vision?
boron red.
He was
Red?
the color Vision. There was a black and white Vision,
Mhm.
and there was 3 Visions,
The pure
and
white version.
we had somebody had gotten a picture. I don't know who got that picture.
I think Becky took the picture, but I'm not
Okay.
positive of that.
Yeah, because it was like three of them. There was
Mhm.
every single Vision that there was. Somebody dressed up like them. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
And it sounded like it was random that they did it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah,
They-
it was random.
Yeah, nobody thought of doing it that way, but it happened, and so it was great.
Yeah, I know John's not here to defend himself, but he kind of gave everybody that saw him a vision at night when they tried to go to sleep, and it was nightmarish. No, I'm
I
kidding,
slept
John,
like
if
a
you're
baby
listening.
on the ship.
John and Kelly's costume outfits were absolutely amazing. They did a great job, down to the tape.
It was just so nice to be on a cruise ship again.
Yeah.
That was.
It
Yeah.
was.
Now, what kind of room did you have?
We had a veranda,
Okay,
a family
Yes.
veranda. So,
family veranda. Did you like it? Was it big enough for you?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's typically what we always get. We've always had verandas. I think we had a porthole room when we did Alaska last time. But other than that, we've always gotten verandas. So
Okay.
it's just nice to sit out, and be able to go outside and
Mm-hmm.
without having to go up to a different deck or something just to
Right.
sit out. And
Now, your adult daughter, Michaela, was on the cruise with Nick, her boyfriend. Did you get to see them a lot on the cruise?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we ate together. We shared a table. That was, so it was just the 4 of us at a table. So we had all of our meals with them, and
They would check in periodically.
yeah, because they're big. They were big trivia people, so they always did all the trivias, and I can't do trivia to save my life, so we don't even participate in that. So we sort of did things during the day. We would just go our own ways, and then we would get back together to eat and go to the shows and stuff like that. We would do together. So
They actually had such a good time that I think 2 days after they got back, they actually booked another cruise for next April.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, they loved it so much. Nick called his mom, and his mom was like, "Oh, I'll go." So the 3 of them are going to go together.
Oh, that's great.
And they're already, like, Michaela's already just about counting down the days until she can go.
yeah, it was Nick's first cruise. He had never
Yes.
been on a cruise before.
Wow.
And he enjoyed it.
They had so much fun. They really did.
Now the cruise they're going in April, is that also a Lumangello WDW radio cruise?
No, they are actually,
cool.
we are getting off the Fantasy in the morning. I think it's April 23rd we get off.
Mhm.
and they are getting on that same ship in the afternoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like two people passing ships in the night.
Yes,
Yes,
we'll have to
literally.
wave.
We can wave as we're leaving because they'll be coming. I'm
Yeah,
sure they'll be
wow.
so excited they'll be at the port like it's 7 or 8 in the morning.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
So then you could stay at their place while they're on the cruise before you go home.
Wow, I never thought
Never
of
thought
that.
of
That's an awesome idea.
Florida mom, here I am.
Darlene's about to get a text from Michaela. Ixnay on the hotel A.
Yeah.
Well, Shelly and Dave know that they always have a place here.
Thank you. I know. I would love to come and visit for a week or two. That would be so much fun.
We would have a blast.
Yes, we would. Florida would never be the same.
Florida hasn't been the same since Darlene moved down here.
Oh, good gracious.
It's better now.
Exactly. So what was your favorite dining experience?
So we did do a Palo brunch on the day of the Marvel Day at Sea.
Yes.
We did that. We really enjoyed that. It was different than what it was because they didn't have the buffet area where you could just go and get all the pastries and the stuff. But it was still
good.
It was still good. We had plenty of food. I think we were there for like 2 hours, and it was really good. It was still very enjoyable,
Yes.
even without the buffet portion of it. So that was probably our favorite meal that we did.
And then just in the regular dining rotation, the night we went to the Tangled restaurant, Rapunzel's.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
great.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. And I don't think I've ever seen such a big piece of prime rib.
Wow.
It's,
Oh my God.
that
Kurt,
was
you
enough
have-
for 4
this
people.
prime rib was like the size of 3 footballs all spread together in a row. It was unbelievable how big the prime rib was.
It was,
Which were you on? Which ship was this? The Fantasy?
No, the magic.
The
The
magic.
Magic? Okay.
It was enough to feed a family of 4.
yeah,
Yes.
it was the whole plate. It truly was
Yeah.
the size of the whole plate. It was incredible. And it was very good.
It was very good. And you know what? I finished mine and I kept saying to myself, I shouldn't finish it because I still have 3 desserts coming.
That was the one thing we did. I know we ordered probably 2 things each, like almost every night, just to try everything. Well, Stuart 3, 4, and then the desserts and stuff. Michelle and I shared a lot of the desserts because just the sugar content and stuff was a lot. We split it and
Sure.
tried
That's
them.
your excuse.
Well, it's like, plus we had lunch. We ate lunch, we ate breakfast,
There
it was a lot of
snacks in
food.
between
There was
and
no such thing as eating lunch. It was eating 2 lunches, maybe 3, a few desserts, an in-between snack when this is the thing I love and hate about cruises. Even when you're not hungry, in between meals and during meals, you eat more because it's there.
There.
Yep.
Right.
Someone's got to eat it, right?
Right, exactly. You're paying
Mhm.
for it. Might as well eat it.
Also true.
You walk by that ice cream machine and it just reaches out and grabs you. And
Yeah.
Well, and they tell you, I can remember, now it's been since 2011, but we going on there and like, I can't decide between the oatmeal raisin or the chocolate chip. And the guy's like, just take them both.
Yep.
My wife's like, quit encouraging him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know I liked the Daisy's Delights as well, where you made your own bowl. That was really good.
Mhm.
That was
For
too
quick
healthy
serve.
for my liking. I'll admit it. That was too healthy for my liking.
Well, I did have the pizza. That was good too.
Yes. So
Yeah,
Cabanas
that
was,
was-
a little weird. I'm sorry, Stuart.
No, sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Cabanas was a little different.
It was.
It was.
Was that was a little different. That was the only one. I don't want to say the word disappointed, but it just, to me, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was a good variety of stuff. It was just far less than what it normally
Yes.
was.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, because it would repeat. The first half would have the same things the other half would have. Yeah, I'd like going from one section to another and having different things everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, say Mexican at one, Italian at another, pizza at one, subs at one,
Yeah.
lamb chops at one.
But
Lots of
I
lamb
feel,
chops.
Well,
Yeah,
they did have lamb chops.
They did the first day
Yeah.
we got on the cruise, like they always do.
Yeah.
I just wonder how much of it played into the fact that the ship was so under
Probably.
capacity.
Right.
That was wonderful.
It was
Yeah,
so
that was
different.
crazy.
Uh,
Yeah.
I love the fact that there was room to stretch out
right.
anywhere you wanted on that cruise with not having to worry about getting in someone's way.
But you think with less people, we would have been able to see each other a lot more.
Yeah. We were all busy doing our own things.
I know.
No matter what it was. Are there any things that you didn't get to do that you would have liked to have gotten to do on the cruise?
I don't think so. It was. No, I think we pretty much we were busy the whole time, and it's you're never going to be able to do everything, but
That's true.
enough.
Yeah. Which of the two shows did you like better? The two shows meaning the nighttime entertainment on the ship. I'm mentioning that for our audience who's listening or
So
watching.
we saw Dreams,
Dreams.
right?
We've seen Dreams, and then
right.
the other one was Tangled the musical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think I liked Tangled the musical better.
Yep.
And I think it's because I feel like we've seen Dreams so many more times.
Yeah, that seems to be like the one that everybody sees on every single cruise. It's a great show. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
Right.
And they do a great job with it, but
Yeah.
And Tangled's one of my favorite movies. So that-
Mhm.
Tangled, I
Right.
thought they did a absolutely wonderful job with it. It was that could go on Broadway tomorrow and would be exceptional.
Yes.
Now, how bad was the rocking on the ship? How big were the waves this trip?
Not
Nothing.
at all. Nothing.
Because I can
Smooth
remember
sailing.
when we went on the cruise. Again, it's been over 10 years now, but it was rocking. So when they would toss the girl from one person to another, they were literally, even though she was going up in the air, it was more like a level toss. And it was the wildest thing because you could see she was going up in the air, but you could feel the rock, so you knew they were throwing straight out.
Mhm.
And I think we saw something afterwards, like an after show with the cast, and they all had to discuss how, yes, we have to be careful how we're tossing in a given day based off of what the waves are doing on the ship.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is because since it went out of Miami and we only went to we went to Nassau and then
Right.
we cast away 2 days. So it was like we only went. It seems like we only went like 100 miles. It's not that far
Right.
we went.
No,
True.
So
that was the best cruise I think I had with that double dip.
Oh, that double dip was phenomenal.
Mhm.
I love Cooks. It's
Yes.
cut right. And oh my God, the food was just amazing. Anywhere you went, the food was great. There was nothing to complain about with the food. The only complaint I would have about the food, there was too much. But you know what? It's my fault because I wanted too much and I ate too much.
Mhm.
But who
I
else
actually
complained?
didn't gain any weight on that cruise.
Oh God, I did.
And I ate a
I
ton.
lost it right away. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now-
I'm getting there.
Did anybody swim out to see the Nautilus?
I
Is
think
it still
John
there?
did.
John did. Yeah,
Okay.
John did.
Yeah.
I
We
mean, we
had two
tried to
very
buy-
different
Go with the
experiences.
water. It was too.
Oh, sorry, Dave.
It was too cold for my liking to go in the water. So
Yeah. We had 2 days at Castaway Key, and we had two very different experiences.
Mhm.
One day, Darlene, myself, John, Kelly, Lottie, and her family were in a cabana, and the next day or the next time when we did the second part of the double dip, we were on the beach, and it is a very different experience, like cabana to the beach. And I don't think I could do Castaway Key again without being in a cabana.
Oh, you're spoiled now.
Oh,
Mhm.
A
absolutely.
little too toasty for you?
No, it's just it's so much more relaxing in the cabana because you've got the breeze coming through on all ends of the shack. For lack of a better word, it's not a shack, a hut, whatever you want to call it.
Cabana.
Cabana, that too. But yeah, very comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and you just want to, like Luce always says, sit back, relax, and just enjoy your time there.
Yeah.
And they have fans in them too, don't they? Weren't
Did
they
they?
fans up there? I
I
think
didn't
they
remember,
do.
but Darlene shaking her head. Yes, I guess they did. I don't remember, honestly.
They did.
In case your breeze disappears, Stuart.
He
My what?
Your
took a
breeze.
nap.
If
He
your
and
breeze
Lonnie
goes
both took
away.
a nap.
That does not
Yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah, that's right. I fell asleep in the cabana. That was wonderful.
Did you buy anything while you were on the ship or on Castaway Key?
Not really.
Did we buy anything?
We just bought a pin, I think, is all. The merchandise was a bit limited. So
I heard that.
Were you disappointed in the amount of merchandise they had for the Marvel Day at Sea?
I didn't see much of that, but I
Yeah.
don't know if I just wasn't looking in the right spot.
There wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
There
was not
wasn't a lot. Yeah. And they moved there was the Castaway Key stuff. If you wanted anything, you had to get it off the ship and on the island.
Yep.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could not get that at the shop.
Mm-mm.
It's on Marvel Day at Sea. I think just about everybody at one point or another during the day went to the shops to say, okay, what do they have special for the Marvel Day at Sea? And there really wasn't anything.
No.
So that
No.
was a little, I don't want to say disappointing. It wasn't unexpected because of everything that's been going on throughout the world. So we kind of knew that was a very strong possibility. And unfortunately, that came true.
Yeah.
Well, Lou brought that up on his show because the guy's like, yeah, we don't have very much. And he was like, oh, yeah, okay, sure. And he goes, no, I'm serious. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did not buy much this trip
yeah,
anywhere. Even when we stopped at Disney for the couple of days, we didn't really.
yeah. Even at Disney, just the amount of merchandise
Yes.
is just so limited.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know Disney's trying to make things a little bit better, but it's been hard for them
Yeah.
for whatever reason, whether it's the supply chain or
It's these locals buying it up and selling it on eBay.
Yeah, standing in line for 6 hours to get
Yeah,
a popcorn bucket. You know,
exactly.
you know, Disney did a very smart thing. They've limited the number of items you can buy. So the the eBayers who like to resell the stuff there have not been able to do as much as they could unless they have 20 people buying.
yeah, they
most
just
of it.
hire 20 people to go stand in line for them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, look, they're trying though, at least.
Yeah.
So you've got another cruise planned this summer, don't you?
Yeah, we're doing the Wish the first week of August. So that's our next one.
All right. Well, the dumb question would be, are you looking forward to it and you're excited? So I'm not going to ask that question. But what's the first thing you want to do once you hit that ship? Once you step foot on it?
Just explore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, we're coming up. I think on Monday we can do we can book our different activities and stuff. We were talking about it. We're probably not even going to book anything. We're not going to do any of the tastings or anything because we just want to have as much time as we can just to walk around and check out the ship. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to reserve Palo?
I don't even know if we're going to do that.
You got a couple of days to decide.
Yeah, it's mostly because it's a 2-3 hour commitment. So do we want to take the time? So
Yeah.
I understand.
we'll see. Yeah, we haven't. I guess as Shell said, we got a couple days to decide that. We're going in December again. on the Wish. So maybe we'll do it then if we don't do it this time.
Now there will be different restaurants on the ship too. So you don't want to miss any of that either, right?
That's true.
Yeah, and we're also trying to decide if, do we want to be completely surprised or we want to prepare ourselves for what's there. Like so far I haven't watched a lot of the videos and a lot of the press stuff that has been put out even by Disney on the new ship. So haven't decided if we just want to be surprised with everything or if we want to be prepared. Still got some time to decide. But.
I loved watching the dream be built. Keith would find the videos for me. I mean, this was way before everything. We had everything, that we do now. But watching the ship being built and put together and all that, it was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, we watched when the Wish started to make its way up the river or wherever it was heading. And just to watch that big ship in that waterway, and you saw all these little like German houses and the windmills and the sheep, and it was like just right there. It was like in these people's backyards, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to see. Just that part, I was so excited. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we get down there.
Now, what ports are you going into when you go on that cruise?
Just Castaway in Nassau.
Okay.
It's a 4-day cruise. So.
It's a 4-day cruise.
Who cares where it's going? You're on the Wish. That's the
trip. We did not get off at Nassau this time or this last one.
Yeah.
Neither did we.
Yeah.
We won't get off at
next
this one either. So.
So.
Yeah, and the people that did get off at Nassau, for the most part, I can't say everybody, but for the most part, were I think a little disappointed in what they saw.
Yeah.
Yes. It seems like they're doing so much to the actual port area. It looks like they're redoing all the docks, and it looks so much nicer already than it did, years back when we went. But
yeah. But they still have a long way to go.
Yes,
they do. They do.
They'll get there. Go ahead, darling.
So, you didn't go and see any of the movies then that were being played?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Well, if you're a Disney Plus member, you've probably had seen all the movies that they had played on the ship this time. So.
Yeah, I think. This was our ninth Disney cruise, and I think we've only seen one movie on the ship.
Okay.
So once again, we try to take advantage of the ship as much as we can, and just sit and watch a movie for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Did you get character pictures?
We
on
did.
the Marvel Day at Sea? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we got Iron Man,
Spider-Man. We got a couple other ones too.
Black Panther.
We did get Black Panther.
So, Hawkeye was there.
Yes, we got Groot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Groot. Yes, got Groot too. Hawkeye and
I am Groot.
Groot.
Did you get Lou Mangello as Spider-Man, or?
It was nice the way they did those. That you could pre-register for those, and then just right off at the time. You didn't have to wait long lines. But there wasn't. It goes back to the number of people on the ship. There wasn't really long lines for any of the characters.
Right.
No. It was great. Captain Marvel, even we got to do that because we went to the. We got to go and see him. Or Captain America.
Yeah.
But we did get
Captain Marvel was there too.
We did get. I think we got one with Captain Marvel, and then we got one with. Oh, the redhead. Not Wanda. Black Widow. I'm like, it took me a minute to remember who it was.
Dave and I went and saw the USO show that they had.
Yes,
Yeah, that was
we
great.
did too. Yes.
That was really cute. They did a really, really good job with that. And then, at the end, Captain America came out, and everybody was, you're like, oh, you just get so excited to see it. It's like, it's Captain America.
I know, right?
They really built up that hype, and it was really a cool show. They did a great job with that. I enjoyed that.
I have to ask, because I heard about that show. Is that similar to the show that was the Broadway show on Hawkeye? Does anyone know?
No, I don't
Was it
believe
completely
so.
different from that?
Yeah.
We haven't seen Hawkeye yet, so
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't ruin it for him.
The USO show was really more just singing and a little dancing in between or with it. It wasn't theatrical in a Broadway sense.
Yeah.
Are there did you spend a lot of time indoors doing things, or did you spend most of your time outdoors besides eating, or did you spend most of your time outdoors?
I just spent some time indoors. Yeah.
And do you want to tell us about it? You know exactly where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah. So, somebody here fell asleep laying flat in the sun and wound up getting vertigo, extreme vertigo.
Oh no.
Along with add a little dehydration to it from being in the sun, and it made for a very rough 36 hours of our cruise. Yeah, it was interesting. So there is a first aid station at Castaway Cay.
Yeah, it happened on the first day at Castaway.
It was our first
in the
Castaway day.
afternoon. So
they kind of didn't do too much for me. They gave me some ice packs, put them under my armpits, under my knees, that kind of thing. And then they're like, okay, do you feel better? Can you walk? And I'm like,
Yeah, get out.
no, I don't think, I got up and just everything was spinning, and I'm like, okay, this is really bad. So they brought the island taxi, which is actually a stretch golf cart.
Right.
And they took me to the ship. They had called ahead and warned the medical doctor that on the ship that they would be seeing me. And once we got there, they were wonderful. It was like going to a regular doctor's office. They had all kinds of stuff, everything you could need.
And a bill at the end.
And a very nice bill at the end. Yeah.
Okay, can you submit the bill to your insurance, or did they take insurance?
So they
do it very convenient. It just shows up on your little fish extender in your room. When you get back, your bill, and it goes straight on your just goes to your room charge. So they give you all the paperwork and everything, and then when I got home, I went to submit it, and it's a third party that runs the medical center on the ship, and it's and it was in network. I have United Healthcare, and it was an in network.
Oh, that's great.
That's great.
So I just submitted the paperwork, and unfortunately, because we haven't met our deductible because it's so early in the year, they didn't pay anything, but it still comes off the off the deductible, and so that was all pretty easy to do. So,
and I think that's good information for our listeners and viewers out there in case they ever, God forbid, come across something like that. For themselves.
Was it just considered an office visit? Or
no, it definitely was more than an office visit.
Ouch.
But she ended up getting an IV.
So,
okay.
Yeah, the first time I went, they gave me an IV. They, got me cooled down, and they gave me something for the dizziness. They gave me something for the nausea that came along with the dizziness. And the next morning I got up and I was better, not great, but better. And then I made the mistake, and this was my fault, and I should have known better. Instead of taking the elevator, we chose, and we just went down the steps, and we were in a hurry to get somewhere. And from going down half and then turning around a couple floors, I technically was going in a circle. And that just sent it spiraling. And at that point, I just sat on the floor in the foyer up on the 7th deck. And, Dave's like, okay, our room is 12 doors down. Do you think you got this? And I somehow made it to 12. Luckily, our room steward was there, and he saw me coming, and he knew something was probably really wrong because he opened the door. And I think I actually dove into the bed. I ran past poor Lou. Lou's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, fine. I felt really bad, but at this point, if I would have stopped, I think I would have just totally keeled over. So after a couple hours of not getting better, we wound up making an appointment, and we went back to the doctor. And this time he gave me 2 shots. And I went back to the room and slept for a while. And then the next day I got up and I was fine. Whatever he gave me that second time, I don't want to know what it is. I don't care what it was. I don't care. I'm telling you, it was like miracle. Because I went to Castaway then for our second day, stayed in the shade. I had Dave to chauffeur me around in my wheelchair because everybody was afraid for me to walk, but that's okay. But we did. We had a really great last day, and got to eat at the Rapunzel's. We saw the show. It was good.
Good.
It was good. So
yeah, that's another thing was we knew that she couldn't get around that well, so we just called or on the app you can text with a cast member and ask if they had wheelchairs, and they said yes. We had to go down to the front desk, and you sign a form to rent for free a wheelchair, and it's really all it is if you don't return it, there's a $200 charge. If you don't return it, I don't know how you would get it off the ship.
Throw it overboard.
So they gave us a wheelchair, and we just sort of kept that in our room, and used it to go to Castaway then the next day, and it worked out really well.
So one thing we did learn, for anybody who ever needs a wheelchair, they have 2 sizes. There's a larger one and a narrower one. The larger one was nicer because it actually had little foot rests on it. So I didn't have to hold my feet up. The problem with that was when they were doing the rooms and they had their cleaning carts all out, we both did not fit in the hallway. So that would have been a problem. It was very tight. So we went with this smaller one, the narrower one, which was easier to maneuver, but I had to you have to remember to hold your feet up. So, if anybody needed something with foot support, you would probably have to know you're going to need the wider ones.
The wider one.
But yeah, everybody was very nice. And
or as an alternative, bring your own.
Yes, it's true.
Because she knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I had this plan to put in my calendar. Yeah. 2 o'clock.
She wanted to check out how the whole procedure worked.
Yeah. I wanted to see how this all goes.
And when you plan ahead, who is better to plan ahead within our preferred travel planner, and that is Mouse Fan Travel. So whether it's Disney World, Disneyland, a Disney Cruise, and Adventure by Disney, wherever you want to go, it doesn't have to be Disney World or Disneyland. It could be a non-Disney vacation. They've got experts in every facet of the travel industry. So contact your favorite travel planner or get acquainted with a soon-to-be favorite travel planner by going to www.mousefantravel.com. That is www.mousefantravel.com. So you had quite the experience on.
Yeah, so it sort of took a day and a half of our of the cruise out of the picture, because we just sort of sat around the room and rested for the day. So but it was just great to be there. And
yep.
It was
Oh,
good
man.
that you had that veranda, like you said, so you
Right.
could sit
Yeah.
out on the veranda.
And what, and the part that always it made me laugh, because the doctor that was there, and both times when I had to go, he said the same thing. Oh, the worst place for you to be with vertigo is on
Yeah.
the cruise ship.
Yeah.
And what was really weird is the ship I did not feel any rocking at all.
Yep.
That's great because I'd had vertigo and my
Yeah,
bed was rocking.
so Michaela and Nick,
Darling, there's a difference between head rocking and rocks in your head moving.
True.
Oh, Stuart.
Michaela and Nick had said on the first night that they had, they came up the next morning. So we got on the ship on Saturday. Was
Mhm.
it Saturday? Yes.
Yes.
They came into our room Sunday morning and they were like, "Oh my gosh, did you feel the ship? It was just really rocking, Liz." And I'm over here thinking, I don't feel a thing.
I didn't feel nothing.
I didn't feel anything either.
No,
So-
it just rocks you right to sleep
Absolutely.
Yep.
I sleep the best
on a cruise
anywhere
ship.
on a cruise ship. And they have the best pillows on top of it. I want to know where those pillows come from, because I don't care how much they cost. I want one.
Yeah, me too. Like the
Yeah.
mattress too.
Yeah, the beds are really comfortable. They
Mhm.
really, really are. And I like that they're up higher so you can stick your luggage underneath.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Yes, that's
that is
Yeah.
fantastic.
yes.
That's great that they do that.
Mhm.
And we've heard about a lot of these. Well, we went during the Omicron, the height of Omicron,
Mhm.
and we were hearing about, oh God, all these cruises. There were all these people coming down with COVID on these cruises. I got to tell you, on the Disney cruise, I couldn't have felt safer anywhere outside of my home than on that cruise ship.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, and I mean, full disclosure, we already said we all tested, we all quarantined, we all wore masks down. We all wanted to be safe
Yep.
and get on the ship and
I
Yeah,
didn't
it was
test
very-
before I
all
went
of
on
our
the cruise
friends.
because I was afraid to test.
it was very odd at the Marriott the night before the cruise. It's like you're checking in and you see people that but we know from previous cruises, but you don't want to get within 10 feet of them. You're behind your mask and you're just like waving, "Hi, we'll talk to you tomorrow."
Yeah.
And everybody would
Yes.
just go to their rooms.
Yes.
I think everybody did room service that night before the cruise, just so you didn't have to
Yeah.
go out. So
You
Definitely,
can hug them on the ship.
definitely not like when we were in Vancouver, Stuart.
Oh heck no! Well, there was no pandemic when we were in Vancouver.
This is true. Oh.
Yeah.
So I know if you could have done anything differently, of course you would have hydrated. You would have
yeah,
I
stayed
would
underneath an
definitely
umbrella.
there's so many things I would have done different, and I will know for next time. I am not doing that again.
And you have to definitely bring sunscreen with you too, so you don't burn.
Or when you do Castaway Key, cabana time.
Cabana time.
that's true.
Yes.
This is true because they actually have a lot of trees there too that you can sit under.
Yeah, it was. I was the second day at Castaway. I was not going to let her be in the sun, so we sat back in the shade where there was no hope for any
There was
sun.
no hope. There was none.
I have a friend,
Such
Larry.
a good husband.
Take such good care of me.
I have a friend, Larry, who is very fair skinned, and we used to go to Jones Beach together. And he was always considered the best dressed person on the beach because he would put towels on him, long sleeve shirt.
Yep.
You couldn't see anything in his nose. He would put that white cream on. I mean, you couldn't see anything, a hat on. It's like, why he went to the beach, I don't know. So, Larry, if you're listening out there, I did mention you. So, hope all is well.
Yeah, but there's just, and another thing, the ship does have, the ship doctor does carry other medications like aspirin and cough medicine and stuff too. But you always want to make sure that you bring your own meds that you can take with you on a cruise.
Do they still have, like, it was outside, they had like the Dramamine and stuff for motion sickness? They're like,
Did
just
you
take it.
notice?
No, you have to buy that in the shop.
You got to
if
buy
you
it
want.
now.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they have it. It's down in the medical center outside. There's
Oh,
a
do they?
That's
little
where it was.
thing
Yeah.
outside the door. Because if you go down there and it's off of, is it deck 1? It's where you can come on and off.
Low.
It's
So
right
is
there.
it grab and go?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sitting there on the
Really?
wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I
Yeah, we
always
grabbed a
take my
couple.
own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But and thank God we haven't had to use it.
No.
But if you go down to deck 1 this day and age, you know who else is on deck 1? The people who might not otherwise be allowed to leave a certain room because they've tested positive for something that we don't want to speak of.
That was deck 2.
Yeah, that was deck 2.
Oh, deck 2. I'm sorry. Okay, but don't they have to go to the doctor on deck 1 at some point?
Yeah.
You know, that crossed my mind very briefly when we went, but I was literally so miserable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like you're
I
like,
couldn't have
"F it,
gotten
I'm
much
going."
worse.
You know, I'm sitting on the table going, wonder if somebody had COVID before me. Oh, I don't even care. You
Right.
know, I just was, I was just so miserable. It was
This medication they gave you must be new, because when I had vertigo
so,
several years ago, it lasted for 3 weeks.
oh, it's so,
And I
you
only
know,
had pills.
Well,
sometimes
according to her
when I get
husband
up in the
Keith,
morning,
it's
I'm
lasts.
still spinny sometimes in the morning. I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
watched yet. So, and it's been what, 2 months?
Yeah,
You
geez,
know,
eek.
So, and I've gotten it before, and I again should have known better. Strictly my fault, stupid
Yeah.
on my part. But you know, he did give me pills to take, but when I went back the second time, that's when he gave me 2 shots, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what it was, but
It's on your bill.
it's the
Oh, right there.
that's very true. I want to look. It is probably listed there somewhere, but that was my miracle cure.
Yeah,
You know,
That's all that matters.
that is great.
I wanted to. So when we got off the ship, you know, Dave's like, "I'll drive." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And I'm sure that put my children, you know, Michaela and Nick's mind rest. You know, that she ain't gonna keel over in the car or anything driving. But after our rest stop, Dave's like, "You want to drive?" I'm like, "Yeah." You know, and I was fine. I drove all the way home. I mean, I actually, with the exception of a few minutes in Virginia, I pretty much drove all the way from Orlando to Cleveland. So,
Okay.
So, you know, whatever he gave me was wonderful. And he did tell me, you know, to take he gave me 2 different pills. They had some big old funky name. I'm sure one of them was Dramamine. And I think the other one was probably some anti-nausea thing.
Right.
I did take the nausea one. So I didn't want to get, my fear was getting car sick, because that sometimes I get queasy sometimes. So, but I was fine. You know, I was.
And honestly,
fine. And they really, everybody who was down there was so super nice. You know, everybody was really nice. They were helpful, and so,
you may have been better actually driving like you did than as a passenger.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It just always seems to work that way. NASCAR drivers talk about that.
She
They'll finish a race and they'll have to drive home, because otherwise they'll get car sick sitting in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually drive anyhow. Dave's not a big fan of driving, but I do find that if I'm a passenger for a long period of time, I always get queasy. Even if I sit in the front seat.
Right.
You know, back seat, forget.
Oh yeah.
It's bad.
You know,
Yeah,
back
backseat.
seat's bad news.
Yeah. Ever since I had vertigo, backseat driving is not my favorite.
Yep. And it's funny how once you have it once, it just messes you up forever.
Mm-hmm. I've
Yeah.
gotten, you're right. I could bend over to get the mop, bucket, and just, oof, what was that? You know, it's like
Then you got to stand up, and it's like, oh, wait, need a minute or two. Hold on. I'll be there in a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If you've never experienced it, you're very lucky.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
glad
lucky.
you said mop and not broom, Darlene, because if you said broom, I would have jumped to the wrong conclusion.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to go to the med center. It's
there.
It's there.
Yep.
For you to use.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hope I had my one and only visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope.
Like 2 and only visits, I should say.
Yeah.
And you know what? It would be great if no one else has to ever go to the Disney doctor ever
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, but
You know, it was also nice that we didn't have to walk all the way back to the ship, taking a nice ride back.
Right.
Very convenient too.
Yeah.
Right?
VIP. Who's those two VIPs
I'm
over
your
there?
fast pass here.
Right. Oh, good golly.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even, I really didn't realize that they were offering stuff like that. So that was good that they do.
Mhm.
Now, you went to Disney World after the cruise. Did you notice a big difference in how you were treated on the and there's no comparison to how you treated on a cruise ship, but did you notice the difference between how the cast members treated you on the cruise compared to the cast members at Disney World, which I'm sure were wonderful, but it's a different experience.
It's always different, you know.
so the cast members at Disney were extremely nice. We did have so
And they
many
always are.
very nice ones, and they always are. It's the same but different. It's a different environment.
Right.
Mhm.
You
You don't really get to
around.
know them like you do
Right.
your room
Right.
steward or
Right.
your-
When
You
you're
know.
on a cruise ship, they get to know your names. They're with you all the time.
Yes.
You're treated like a king and queen.
Mm-hmm.
And in the parks, you're a prince. You're just a prince and princess.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that is true. But I've read so many things on different pages. How cast members are not magical, and we did not see any of that.
Oh, come now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In
Oh, good
break,
golly.
spring break's always a rough time. So
Right.
Right?
kudos to all of them
Mhm.
for putting up with everything they put up with from all the people who are not very nice.
Yeah, and apparently there is a increase in the nasty guests coming to the
Yes.
parks these days.
Yes.
So my hat's off to the cast members for handling
Yeah.
things as well as they do.
Yeah, I give them credit, all of them, because I don't know, maybe it's just my old age, but my filter don't work like it used to. I
Right.
just leave it at that.
Mine doesn't work that well either.
So,
And
yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
most positive person on earth with Shelly.
And instead of saying, "Oh, dagnabbit," she's like, "Oh, shucks, darn."
What did they say? So the cast members, they say, "Oh, ding dang."
No, ding
Yes.
dang.
They're not allowed to say bad words, so they go ding dang. That is their.
My favorite at work was always fudge.
Yes.
Yeah, I like nuck and futs.
No, that's pretty good. I'm gonna have to remember that one.
Oh, good golly.
Well, your sugar and spice is good. You say
Oh,
that a lot.
I
Yeah,
do.
darling
Sugar and
does say that a
spice.
lot.
I do. Oh, sugar and spice. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
So, but
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to mention about your experience on the cruise before we
No, I don't think so.
no, just anxiously waiting the next one.
yeah, can't
So,
imagine. I got a year to go.
I don't even know how long I have to go.
Yeah.
Tyler just informed us he wants to go and get his master's. I've got quite a while.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you'll get there, and you'll get down here one day too, Kurt. So all in good time.
We'll see.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, I am very excited for the Wish, just to see everything, and that's just
Now, is the Wish bigger than the Fantasy even, or is
Yes.
it is? Wow.
Not
I
by
haven't-
very much.
Okay.
Okay.
I think overall it's about the same tonnage, but I think there's an additional deck.
That sounds right.
I haven't been on the fantasy yet.
that was
Neither have I.
That was the first one Dave and I did with the WDW in Lou.
Okay.
And that was fun. That was our first cruise without the kids.
Oh, nice.
So that was a whole new experience for us. That was a
Mhm.
lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been on the Magic, Wonder, Dream, and the Fantasy will be my next one.
Mhm.
So
I'll get to the Wish sometime down the road. I just have to wish harder for it.
Mhm. The Fantasy is the Bermuda trip, right?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Anybody else have any more questions for Dave and Shelley?
No,
No,
just
There's
thank
a
you so
lot.
much for being here and sharing your cruise adventure and your
Yes.
little mishap adventure. But it was a lot of good information for
Yes,
our
absolutely.
guests and
Yeah.
our listeners. So we appreciate it.
Yep.
It's definitely one we will always remember.
Yes. And one I'm hoping to never repeat.
Yeah. You know what? But going through experiences like that makes you a stronger, better person.
Mhm.
So
We would like to have you back on when you take your cruise on the Wish so you can share your adventure with us,
Absolutely.
since none of us will be able to get on the Wish for quite a while.
well, John is going to be on the Wish. With
Oh,
Ken.
good. So we'll have him on too. Perfect.
Well, he will be on because he's part of the show.
Well, we never know.
Well, John is the actor of the group, and he's been
Yes.
doing a way off Broadway show.
Mamma Mia.
And he has fun doing everything. And now he's
Mhm.
on vacation. He will be back with us next week. Hopefully, Lottie will rejoin us next week. And Dave
Yay.
and Shelley, once again, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
Yeah, we can't wait to have you guys back on. So until next time, everybody, be safe. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. Happy Passover and happy Easter to all those that celebrate.